Hey, Blue Table fans, this is 48 infantry for my Catachan Jungle Fighters army. I'm very excited about this force. I was trying to figure out what army to play next. Of course, I've done most of the armies in existence. I was going to make my 9th Eldar army, but for whatever reason, Jungle Fighters really appealed to me. Oh, and why is I found these great 3D prints on Etsy. Super excited for them. Can't wait to get the brush to them. I'm showing them to you unpainted first. And this is just, you know, something I found on Etsy. And these guys are really cool. I think the name of the company is Reptilian Overlords. I'm going to get back to you on that. I've added some Games Workshop gray plastic Vox casters here. And this is their answer for Iron Hand Straken, who looks really cool. Sergeant Hawker, quote unquote. The ill-named Sergeant Meat Grinder. Oh God, it's so good. Alright, these are Meltaguns. And we have a heavy flamer, a couple plasmas back there. What I'm going to be using is sergeants. And there's they come on these bases. Now, I was going to transfer them to official GW bases. These are basically not that much different. The bevel is a little steeper. They are just a tad thicker. They do have these really cool slots on the bottom to put magnets, which I'm going to do because I'm going to give these guys movement trays. And I'm going to move them around in pretty tight pods. Of course, they could split up and, you know, go a different way. But this is just 60 points here. And it comes with a sergeant, a Vox caster. The new data update thing basically gives them all their upgrades for free. I'm about to run out of battery, by the way, so if it cuts out, I've already told you all I want to tell you. So basically, 60 points makes the basic Imperial Guard infantry pod to be really strong. You can put a heavy weapon in there, you can put a special weapon in there, you can get a sergeant in there, you can get a Vox caster in there. It's just the basic 60 points. They're an absolute bargain, and they now have Hammer of the Emperor, which is auto wounds on 6s, and you can give them double fire with an order, and the orders happen automatically. They used to require a leadership test, but now they just automatically happen, and they echo according to the new data slate, which means if this guy issues an order, it can be received within 18 inches if there's a Vox caster in the unit, which of course there always is. It doesn't cost anything. And a unit within 6 inches of this unit can receive the same order. So I'm calling it echoing of orders. And of course they have a, I don't know if they have to have a Vox caster. I think they can just they can just get it. As long as this one has a Vox caster, it can be 18 inches. I think otherwise it's just 6 inches. So voice of command can be done by a platoon leader, which is an elite slot, and he's like 25 points. So everything's super cheap in Imperial Guard. It's going to be a lot of fun. And my objective is to get 240 infantry in this army, which is less than 1,500 points, by the way, and all maxed out. 24 las cannons, 24 meltaguns, 24 power fists. No. Sorry, the unit leader can't have a power fist. Only the platoon commander and the company commander can have voice of command and access to the unusual weapons. And I'm really stoked about these minis. This particular company, I believe it's called Hoplite Studios. I'm gonna give you links to all this in the liner notes, and if I don't, put something in the comments section and I'll do it. The resin that he uses is really good, and I would definitely compare it to Games Workshop plastic in terms of quality, detail. I've dropped a few of these guys on the floor, absolutely nothing happened. And so these small little printer companies are oftentimes doing a really amazing job. I'm very excited. So this is my first I only ordered 4 units, but with all the extras that they sent me, I ended up with 48 guys. And so with the heavy weapons teams that I'm going to be adding, I'm going to, and they'll be publishing those in this style soon. But with the heavy weapon teams, this will easily jump out to 6 units of guys. And I'm pretty stoked about that. Come on, it's so good. The basic Imperial Guard unit is pretty crazy right now. And Catachans, if you take Catachans as your choice, army-wide Catachans only, you can have some allied stuff in there that they're specific about, but they get brutal strength, so they go to strength 4. That's not a big of a deal. But whenever one of their weapons has a number, like you roll for number of shots, you can re-roll that roll. And that includes the tanks as well. So, but I'm really keen on just trying straight up infantry and seeing where that takes me. Will it be fun to play? It's definitely going to be fun to paint it. It's going to be time consuming to do all that skin and faces, but I think it's going to be really super cool. And this particular company uses a really nice resin, so unfortunately that means that I'm kind of stuck with this one company. It's not a bad thing, I'm just saying. Normally the downside of 3D prints excuse me, is that they can be very brittle, and this particular resin has turned out very well. These guys were really easy to assemble. I'm very excited for them. Now, when you buy a unit, there's torsos that have the guns already on there. So it's like this guy here is only 3 parts. It's legs, torso, and head. And then some of them are customizable, like this guy with a grenade. He has legs, torso, head, and left arm, right arm. And a lot of them are like that. And I found some Catachan type heads in my Games Workshop bits. This is actually from a Scout Sentinel. And so I plan on really expanding them out with regular Games Workshop pieces. The good thing here for me is I tend to sell my armies. They're kind of like a little bit of a savings thing, and I always end up selling my armies, which is not great. And I really want to keep them, and since this one is now basically unsaleable, what am I going to do? Also, one thing is I will oftentimes twin an army, so if you want to twin this army with me, which means commission an army of exact what I'm building, and then I'll do yours and mine at exactly the same time. So here we go. Hopefully you're going to be seeing more battle reports really soon. I'm very excited for that. And I have a couple Sentinels, proper GW Sentinels coming, and that's going to be my first 600-point battle with my son. I'm going to get, there's a miniature they put out that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm going to use that as an Eversor assassin. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and you got your long-winded inspiration for the day.